Hey, Status Steve, please like and subscribe. Please click on the Deck Heroes icon, click on subscribe. It's 100% free. Well, blood in, blood out. Anyway, this is a video, and this video is about men and relationships and traditional relationships and the modern relationships and the imbalance. And this touches so many of the relationships and the guys who are now right now struggling. And the more I thought about it, it's touched so many guys' relationship experience over many years. Anyway, let's see what they got to say. They're so on point.
63% of men are now single, whilst only 34% of women are single. This is from Pew Research. What is the most amount of dates you've had in 1 week?
In 1 week?
1 week, correct.
I would say 5.
Even an average girl, like 5 out of 10 girl, she can go on a...
Hold on, did he? I think he just said, even an average girl, a 5 out of 10, even she can go on like 5 days a week. Damn, that's a little bit rude, my son.
every single night of the week, and that's just like how society is right now. The thing is, guys are fully aware of this. Guys know that, like, okay, I'm going to be her Tuesday slot, then there's going to be a Wednesday and a Thursday, right? One of the big things that we see right now is men are going their own way, because it's gotten to the point where guys aren't feeling respected in the dating market. They just feel like they're being used for money, and that respect element isn't there. So from a girl's point of view, there are some girls who will just go on like date after date after date, still expect the guy to pay for every single one. The traditional standard for the guy of being the gentleman, being the one who pays, that's still there. But then the ladylike aspect for the women, that's no longer a thing, right? More and more.
I think he has just hit the nail on the head. I mean, yeah, he gave it the foundations with the ladies' experience. Listen, if a lady wants to go out there and have 50,000 dates, a date every single day, if she's average or above average, she can have a date every single day of the week. And there's going to be guys who are expected, and some will be willing, maybe partly because they're expected, but if they're willing, that's because they want to sleep with you, to do it. And if you're going to do that traditional role, which is the whole point of what they've just said, if you're going to be that traditional man or fit into that expectations of the provider, the traditional man, then they have to be traditional women on the other side, but they're not. It's kind of being that selective, kind of self-serving perspective on the relationships. And that's what guys, it's not that guys can't see it. It's not that guys can't see it. And the bigger problem is, listen, if think about all the relationships en masse, on average. You think about, is it just that the men are rich and the women are poor? Or is it more or less something in the middle? Is it that the women are rich and the men are poor? Or is it more or less something in the middle? In my experience anyway, and maybe I can only talk for me, in most of the cases, there's not a massive difference on each side. So if it's more or less equality there, or parity, then why is it that only one side is expected to pay? And even as listen, I don't mind treating the person that I'm with, I mean, from time to time, but it only feels good when I want to do it, not because I'm expected to do it. You know what I mean? That's what's known as coercion. Anyway, let's go.
Men are going their own way because they've finally woken up to the harsh reality of today's dating market. It's not about finding love or building a life together anymore. It's about being used for money, as a free meal ticket, and never getting the respect that men deserve. The sad truth is, men have realized they're being slotted into roles where they're expected to give and give, but when it comes time for women to reciprocate, crickets. Most men today know that the juice just ain't worth the squeeze anymore. It's tragic, but it's the reality. So many women today are selfish.
Listen, he's not talking about, he said so many, he's not talking about all women. And I'm definitely not talking about all women. I'm just using it as the contrast between that traditional expectation of men, and there's no parity on the other side. There's no traditional women out there. So why are we supposed to be traditional men? I don't know. Yeah, let's move on.
Uncaring and greedy. They've been conditioned to expect everything. A lifestyle, financial stability, attention, adoration. But what do they offer in return? Nothing but complaints and expectations. The modern dating scene has become a game of take, and men are fed up. These same women talk about equality when it suits them, but the second they're asked to be equals in a relationship, they backpedal. Where's the equality when it comes to supporting each other, raising a family, and being partners? For many of them, it's not even on the radar. They're more focused on themselves, chasing fleeting satisfaction while ignoring what truly matters: family, children.
You know what, that chasing fleeting satisfaction, I think, listen, I can only relate that to my own experience, and that is there's been times when I felt like a lady, and it's not generally the case. It's sometimes the case. You know what I mean? That a lady doesn't really mind what I spend money on for her, as long as I'm spending that money. She just wants to run down my money, and I'm pretty sure she's going to be showing it off to her friends that she's got somebody, both a simp. You know what I mean? Just to keep on just giving her stuff. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if she needs it or she wants it. Just spend money on her. She's got nothing to lose, but you've got everything to lose. Men have got everything to lose. You're losing your resources for somebody who doesn't care about you at all. Just see the game playing out is what I'm trying to say, and let's see what else they've got to say.
Commitment. They want the benefits of a relationship without putting in the effort or care. Men are finally becoming aware of this, and they're opting out. Who wants to stay in that slot, endlessly giving while never receiving anything meaningful in return? It's no wonder men are walking.
He said never receiving anything meaningful. Guys aren't bothered about kind of receiving gifts in return. Just really not. There's no expectation from a man to receive anything at all. We're kind of self-serving. We're self-sufficient. You know what I mean? There's no point buying us flowers. There's no point in getting us a little kind of... Unless, listen, if you're going to give us a little kind of bottle of aftershave and things like that, I mean, yeah, it makes more sense. It makes more logical sense, which a guy can understand. Okay. But you'd be doing it for you to smell that on us. You know what I mean? If we're not already that man. Anyway, let's move on.
Away from the dating market altogether. When respect, loyalty, and genuine partnership are nowhere to be found, the only logical choice is to step out of the game. And the irony? The same women who pushed men to this point are the ones crying about where all...
By step out of the game, my interpretation of that is, yeah, just not get drawn into this kind of being mugged off. Mugged off just meaning, you know what I mean, this imbalance, this one-way thing, which is a bit exploitative. Just step out of that. That's what he means. Doesn't mean not date women. Because we're not talking about all women, just the ones that are particularly problematic, like has been highlighted.
Good men have gone, but they're too late. Men have figured it out. The juice isn't worth the squeeze, and we're done playing.
Okay, so we've got a young lady coming up. She's got an interesting perspective on the same thing about this whole kind of traditional man, traditional woman dynamic. Let's see what she's got to say.
Okay, girls, we constantly talk about how we want men to treat us, but how are you treating men? How are you treating men? Are you dating them just as much as they're dating you? Yeah, they're opening the door for you, they're paying the bill. They are absolutely complimenting you to the freaking walls, to the sky, to the moon. They're complimenting you. But are you dating them? Are you getting them cheeky little gifts? Are you over-exaggerating how much you absolutely love getting flowers from them, and therefore you pick out a flower from that bouquet and give it back to them? Are you buying them a shirt and saying, hey babe, I think you're going to look cute in this? Are you buying them cologne and go smell it and go like, I can see you wearing this? I'm just confused. Are you dating them as much as they're dating you?
It's no wonder men are pulling away from relationships. These days, it feels like men are more scared of women than anything else, and honestly, can you blame them? The dating landscape has changed so much, and for a lot of guys, it's just not worth the effort anymore. It's like we've lost the value we used to have, and some women are just dating us for what they can get, not for who we are.
Yeah, just going to pick up on what he said about being scared, really. That was an interesting thing. And obviously he hasn't picked up on this video, but there's other videos where men are more or less scared to approach these days. And you got one voice saying, well, why don't men approach anymore? But you got a very similar voice saying, in approaching, you're encroaching, in so many words, you know what I mean? That wherever you would make that approach is a space where that woman just really wants to be able to go about her day without being, well, it's going to be harassed, you know what I mean? So you can't have both. So the only safe answer is just not do it at all. So when he says scared, maybe that's what they mean. But in the broader context of these videos, I think he just means having an expectation, as I said before, to endlessly pay for this love and affection, which doesn't really give any outcomes because it's just what's expected and it's never reciprocated. So anyway.
You see it all the time. Men being treated like ATMs, only valued for the money we can provide. Conversations feel one-sided, and the effort rarely gets reciprocated. It's frustrating. We're out here trying to connect, but some women can't even hold a decent conversation, let alone put in the effort to build something meaningful. It's always about what we can do for them, what they expect us to provide. But when it comes to romance, men often get the short end of the stick. The saddest part is, most men don't even get flowers or real appreciation until...
Oh man, I was just gonna pick up on. No, it's just throw me off with that flowers thing. Listen, guys don't want flowers. Guys don't give two damns about flowers, and the reason why is because it's an expensive gift, which is means nothing at all. It's going to wither. It's going to fade. You know, men are about kind of solid foundations and the objective reason to do things. And flowers are a very subjective thing to do, you know what I mean? But women do particularly like it, so that is the objective. The objective strategy is because women get a lot of fulfillment from it, I guess, to men, you know, the message to men. But in our normal male brain, it's like, I don't know, that's something that can grow out the ground for free, and all of a sudden it costs me 30, 40, 50 pounds. Make that make sense. Make that make sense. Anyway, let's move on.
They're dead. It's like we go through life giving, providing, and trying to make someone happy, but real recognition, that doesn't come until it's too late. And it feels so one-sided. We're expected to plan dates, pay for everything, be romantic, and yet, we rarely see the same energy come back our way. Some women expect us to go above and beyond while giving the bare minimum in return. It's no surprise, then, that a lot of men are avoiding relationships altogether. Why dive into something where you're not truly valued? Why take on the stress when it feels like a constant give without much get? Men are scared of the emotional and financial risks, and many are opting out, finding peace on their own rather than dealing with the draining reality of modern dating.
Passport bros are just men who participate in check.
Very interesting, very interesting. I just thought about the whole concept of, which is just the reality that you pay for a date, hopefully you turn up like kind of smart, well-dressed, clean-shaven, whatever, smelling good anyway, forget about clean-shaven, smelling good and, you know, best thing, and all you want really is somebody to appreciate it on the other side if you're going to plan it and pay for it, and that doesn't always happen. Is what it is. Anyway, please like, subscribe. There's Steve, and I am out.